Hello there, this is Only One Kenobi, Only One, and welcome back. We are back on track now with my series of videos called the Vintage Collection Quick Shot series. I'm going through and if you are new around here, just to explain, I am going through the Vintage Collection right from the very beginning, and we are up to VC24 Wooof. And you know what, it would be rude not to do what I'm going to do today for you, which is the side-by-side comparison of these two guys. This is very topical. It's the brand new VC135 Klaatu. Obviously they're two different characters, but it would be quite wrong of me, as I say, not to do a little bit of a side-by-side comparison, because this guy, as you're going to see in a minute, is top quality. Really good figure. A remake of a classic in all departments, as in the card is a remake. The figure is updated from the previous early release, which we'll have a look on the back in a minute. But firstly, I just want to take you guys in on a little ride now and look at this figure right up close. Look at the quality. This is what we're talking about here. And I wanted to know, I'm sure you do too, or you're not decided, or maybe you aren't decided, or you're thinking about it as well. Does the new Klaatu stand up to the same quality as this guy? I think, personally, right from the get-go, I'm going to say this figure is so much better loose, or looks a better figure. They're both great, but the detail of this guy is incredible. His face, you know, the sculpting, the figure, you know, has a more of a matte finish. That is without question. The new one has a kind of a gloss, but maybe that's just because they are. He's got a different type of skin. But in reality, I don't know. You can't really tell much from the image. They look the same kind of guy, just different outfits. They are both green Nikto, and Niktos are great. I love Niktos. I've got a lot of friends who are collectors as well, who, you know, they go crazy for these kind of guys. The alien variety. I love aliens as well, but I know Sith Lord 229 is a big fan of aliens. Sci-fi, you love him as well, and you can't beat a good Return of the Jedi alien. Moving on from the guy, as you can see, the helmet was removable. Moving on from him loose, so I get that done first, really, because he is such a great figure to look at. Here is the card for VC24. I have him unpunched, as you can see. Nice to have him unpunched, because as you will see with the 135, nobody has that option of having him unpunched, unfortunately, but he does look great on the card back. And it's these figures that are exact reissues, whereby they've used the image again, that is exactly the same as it was in the 80s, look fantastic in the vintage collection, because inside you see a figure that is a vast update. Now, having said that, the 1980s figure of well, he was formerly or wrongly known as Klaatu back then. He is actually called Wooof, but that figure there that you're looking at there, even that in 1983 to 1985 was a great figure. I did actually have one, not when I was a kid back in the 80s. I always wanted one. I bought one not long ago, and when I opened a second Wooof, which is this is my unpunched one. I had a punched one which I opened. I recarded an original Klaatu inside the bubble, and it looked great. But as I say, he was wrongly named Klaatu back in the 80s. I think that somebody found out what his real name was. The prop, or his helmet, had Wooof written inside it, on the set. So that was a mistake that somebody had made. There he is again, loose. Now what I'm going to do is show you Klaatu, as in, this is the character Klaatu. This is Wooof. They've got the names sorted now for the modern era. I don't have him loose to show you, unfortunately, but I can certainly go in on the card. It'd just be wrong not to do this, and I'm going to call, as you might have seen from the title of the video, I've called it a comparison. If you are new around to my channel, as I say, I've started a new series called the Vintage Collection Quick Shot series, where I'm just going through the entire archive of the Vintage Collection. So if you're interested in the Vintage Collection and want to join me for the ride, subscribe, because I'm going to go through up to episode 24. This is VC24. That is, anyway. But I just thought I'd show you this guy as well. And this is what I'm talking about. The detail is great, but he's slightly shinier. The weathering and everything on the body is great. But to be honest with you, even without getting him out of the bubble, I think that the Wooof figure is just marginally better. It looks like he's got a ball-jointed waist there. As I say, the card back is unfortunately punched. But there you go. He's just slightly shinier. Is he shiny on the card? He looked very dull there because they've done a lot of treatment to that image apparently. That's a more genuine sort of photograph, whereas the other one, they've done a lot of digital treatment to that to you know, brighten up the original image, which was slightly dull. I don't know what they've done. But anyway, whatever. These are great looking card backs. I've got them, as you saw in my previous video, on my wall now. I've got a nice looking couple of rows now, 3 rows of 51 cards for the Return of the Jedi now. Fantastic. So well done, Hasbro. Keep bringing them out, these classic figures and cards. Give us a General Madine. And also, what would I like to see? Bib Fortuna. Bib Fortuna. Bib Fortuna. Give it to me. This has been Only One Kenobi. Only one. Out.